Let the manipulation begin with
sir.
friend of the show, kind of a champion of the show. We're always high on James Conner. Feels like every year he's kind of an underrated because he's not a huge, sexy name. He's not Bijan Robinson, but the man just produces.
The argument you made about Derrick Henry the other day on the show about he defies human nature. Like, I've got to jump off this bandwagon one year too early. I hate Derrick Henry. You go back, watch the tape. Jay was like, I'm at running back 47. It was outrageous what he said.
You're going to have a 47-yard touchdown.
Couldn't beat me in a race.
He said, I think Peyton Mitchell gets 25 touches. It was crazy. Lawrence, it was blasphemous.
King Henry. Porchester Henry.
But James Conner is similar to this, right? Over the last 5 seasons, here's the entire list. Last 5 seasons, here's the entire list of running backs that have played at least 13 games and have at least 700 rushing yards in all 5 years. Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, James Conner. That's the entire list, right? Last year, James Conner, 29 years old, but still, top 3 running back in the NFL in both avoided tackle rate and percentage of runs, gaining 10-plus yards. He has not lost a step. Since coming to Arizona in 2021, James Conner has had at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage and at least 8 touchdowns every single year. He's never finished lower than RB15 in PP points per game, and yet he's currently going as running back 19. No one ever is excited about James Conner. No one in your draft is ever going to say, like, oh, man, I wanted James Conner, or like, ooh, James Conner. They'll do that when you draft, Ashton Genty or Amarian Hampton. They're not going to say that when you draft James Conner, but all he does is outperform ADP year in, year out, Lawrence.
Yeah, without me banging on the table like you just did, I will agree with you, Matthew. Look,
you're welcome. You can bang on your side.
Look,
there you go. Thank you.
Let me tell you something here about James Conner. And look, add into this fact, too, we talked to some Cardinals folks, right, Matthew, at the Combine, and the reason why James Conner keeps performing because they really love the small things he can do and the veteran things he can do from a running back position. He's going to get you that 4, 5, 6 yards. He's not looking for the home run. He's not a home run threat. But when they're around the goal line, they like to use James Conner. And here's another thing about him. We don't really know him as a pass catcher. At least 45 catches in 2 of his last 3 seasons. So that's another added value to him from a fantasy perspective. His last 3 seasons, 17.5 touches per game. 17.5 for old 29-year-old James Conner. So while Trey Benson will have more of a role, James Conner still the lead dog.
I do not buy the 1A, 1B James Conner to Trey Benson hype. I know a lot of people do. But yes, Lawrence and I had a very in-depth conversation with somebody on the offensive coaching staff of the Arizona Cardinals where we talked about this and we said, what about Trey Benson? And they like Trey Benson. They said nothing but positive things, but they said, here's the thing. To your point, it's the details. If I give James Conner the ball at the 3-yard line, he's getting in the end zone. If I know James Conner has to, take 3 steps to the left and chip a linebacker, he's going to do that. They just trust him with all the little details, and I think he's kind of the heart and soul of that locker room. They love him. They love him in Arizona, and they love him on the field there.
Yeah, one of the worst preseason tropes, this happens every year, is coaches getting in front of microphones saying that the number 2 running back is going to get more work.
Yeah.
And that the number 1, because that's just what you have to say. Because What are you going to say? Go up there and say that, Saquon Barkley, we're going to give him 25 carries. That's just not what you would say. Never forget Frank Reich saying, after Jonathan Taylor's 2021, where he had that epic season, Frank Reich saying, big year for Nyheim Hines coming up. Nyheim Hines, big part of the offense.
Set the fantasy world on fire. What?
Jonathan Taylor, we can't give him that same workload. Week 1 against the Texans, Jonathan Taylor, 30 carries. Literally
right.
30
carries.
carries.
Yeah, and this too, right? It's not like you gotta. I don't want to use Jahmyr Gibbs as an example, but someone who's stylistically like Jahmyr Gibbs, it's not as if you have someone like that breathing down James Conner's neck. Trey Benson, he's a home run hitter guy, but not that type of dynamic running back to where he's so much different to where you got to take James Conner out of the game.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotorworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.